It's 6 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. First item will be roll call.
Turkey.
Here.
Graves.
Here.
Nam.
Here.
Keith.
Here.
Walker.
Here.
West.
Here. Say the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll take a moment of silence if you like. Take a motion to approve the agenda. Second. Favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. One's had a chance to review the previous minutes. If there are no additions or corrections, they'll stand approved as presented. We had no visitors and there was no public comments sent in, so we'll move on to the officers' report, CFO report.
Starts on page 20. I first wanted to give you guys some good information we got today. Our TPE audit we talked about, that is completed. We completed round 1 of the TPE probe. The error rate was 8.57%, which means we passed and we're done. I sent that to the attorney just to let him know that it was done. He said that's the lowest error rate they've ever seen by a client. So I would have liked it to be lower, but apparently that's really good. So that's good to know.
Well done, yes.
Page 20.
5 more years.
About 5 more hours at least. Page 20 is the capital expense transfer. That's for you guys to vote on. That is to move the funds to purchase those 2 transits from the general checking to, I said that backwards, from the ambulance vehicle replacement back to the general fund where it came out of. You guys want to vote on that now, or you want to vote on that?
Can. So moved. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Okay, page 21 is our sales tax receipts this year to date. We've got $338,575.93 this month. That is about $41,000 over last year. Year over year, we're up $270,000 and about 7.84%. Page 22 is the primary payer policy mix. I don't know if you guys want to see this every month because it's going to stay pretty steady there. It might be a once a quarter kind of thing if you guys, unless you guys just want to see it every time. It's no big deal to print it. It's just, it stays pretty steady.
No, when I originally asked about that, when you asked about reports, it was curious to see it, but you're right, it stays about the same.
Yeah,
so,
it stays
yeah.
pretty steady, so.
I think once a quarter is fine.
Okay. Page 26 is the operations report. That's comparing this year to last year. Remember last year we didn't start billing until 7/1, so these numbers aren't really comparable because we've got 10 months versus 4 months. Any questions on any of that?
When you prorate that, I didn't do the mental gymnastics here, but is there anything that's out of whack trend wise?
So no, I mean, you can see when you look year over year compared to this year to last year, you can tell that in-house billing has been much better for us. The service fees are up I don't know, 20
Can
some
you
percent.
explain what a contractual is?
So the contractual allowance, that is only for Medicaid and Medicare. That's the only thing we're contracted for. So we have to take those contractual allowances. So we bill $1,000, Medicare allowables $400. We have to take that contractual allowance of $600 and write that off.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions on that? Okay, page 28, budget performance. This is year to date. Total operating revenue, 9.4 million. Budget year to date was 8.3, so we're about $1 million over, which is a positive variance of about 12%. So on total operating expense, we're 1.3 below what we budgeted. So again, about a 15% positive variance on that. Most of that comes from capital purchases.
Can you explain TIF to me? At one time, I thought I knew what TIF was, but it's tax increment funding, but I don't know quite how that shakes out for this organization.
So way back when I can't remember, I think it's called the Star TIF. So it's where the new movie theater is, Big O, and then on the other side of the highway, it's like Aspen Dental, Scooter Coffee. I feel like there's something else there.
There is a TIF district.
Yeah, so that TIF district, Pettis County Ambulance voted to participate in that. So that means that all the sales tax that comes from that, we pay 50% back to the city. So that's what when you see that TIF
It
expense.
had nothing to do with buying this facility from the Elks. This is outside the TIF district, right?
Yeah, we don't participate in TIF, we don't pay sales tax. I mean, this one, we participated in the TIF, so it's all based on sales tax. We don't pay sales tax as a government entity, so. So that's the only one that Pettis County Ambulance participates in. There's several other TIFs in town, but we don't participate in them.
Okay, thank you.
Question on bank service charges. Why'd that go up so much?
So the billing company previously did the credit card processing and didn't charge us anything. Now we have to pay for our credit card charge processing.
But we make up for it.
Yeah, we make a part of it. The difference in the revenue, so. Anything else on that page? Page 29 is the budget performance overall, and this is all the details as well. We should be about 83% at the end of October. So again, you're not gonna see really anything different than you've seen. Revenues up. When you look at annual budget, about 13%. Ambulance and vehicle fuel is slightly over budget. Oxygen's way over budget. We are working to get SAVIC pricing on that. SAVIC is like a collective bargaining, collective buying. We get special pricing. We get that because we're a member of AAA, American Ambulance Association. So it's gonna save, we're still working with them, but significant amount of money for next year for that oxygen. For instance, we're paying like $64 for the big ones. I think it's $13 or $14 with the SAVIC pricing. So, and it's kind of weird, the per oxygen bottle goes down, delivery fee goes up, but in the end, it's still a significant savings. So, still working through that to get that completed. Page 30, wages and salaries is slightly over budget, but that's to be expected because the raises were given after the budget last year. So there'll be a budget amendment in January for that. But when you look at total employee, it's slightly under budget, and that is because it's just the buckets. So there's more money sitting in the retirement contributions that needs to be moved down to wages, basically. Any other questions on the budget performance and the details? Okay, page 33 is our capital expenses as of October 31st. So they're probably gonna stay pretty much what this looks like. There was, of course, the purchase of the 2 transits in November. And we did get mattresses in November. Can't think of anything else. Oh, we did get a bill for some of that radio wiring updates too. So, but there'll be a few more capital expenses in November, December. Page 34 is our balance sheet year over year. It's just the difference in our assets, liabilities, and our fund balance. Any questions on any of those? Okay, page 36 is our profit and loss comparison, and that service fees, that's what I was talking about. You can see that increase there. As of the end of October, it's up 667,000 over the previous year, or 21%. Now, some of that is because we did raise our mileage rate. Some of that's because Medicaid rates went up, but a lot of it, I think, is because we're actually fighting and trying to get, when they deny something, we work with it till we get it, if we're due the money. So I think it makes a big difference for it to be in-house. Anything else that jumps out to you guys? Have any questions on?
The Windsor payment there,
Uh-huh.
that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yes, next year it will not be up like that. So just keep that in mind. Page 37 is our bank balances year over year. Same time last year, up 658,000 at this point. Page 38 is our cash reserve analysis. You can see there where we moved the funds out of the general fund to kind of show people what that money has been saved for the vehicles and the additional station and equipment. You can see the ambulances that are on order at the bottom. Those are still all on order. And those will all be rolled forward. Pages 39 and 44 is the check register. And then the bills are on pages 45 and 47. Those 2 highlighted ones, I just highlighted those for myself to remind myself those are building, so we can pay them out of the building. It doesn't mean anything probably to anybody else, it's just kind of a reminder. Any questions on any of those bills?
I just thought of something on the ambulances.
Mhm.
I remember a couple years ago, we purchased out several years, not locked those prices in, is that correct? Okay, I want to make sure I wasn't dreaming about that. So that was a good thing that we did.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other questions, that's it.
Do you have questions for Jamie? Now to take a motion to approve payment of outstanding bills. Second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Unfinished business, the audit bid recommendation.
Okay, page 48, I did a summary there of the bid proposals from the 3 different firms. Smart Solutions CPA is based out of Chicago. In their references, I didn't see any government entities listed. Penn Associates is the firm that's been doing our audit since I think 2018. And then Westbrook is out of Harrisonville. They have lots of government experience, several ambulance districts. I think they're a great firm, but I think if you look at price, you need to stay local on that is my recommendation. But I think either Hood and Associates or Westbrook would both be good options.
How did Smart Solutions send us a bid? How'd they know about us?
So, I mean, it was in the newspaper.
Oh.
It was listed on the website. So I don't know. I mean, I never contacted or talked to anybody, so I'm not sure. They must have just gotten it from the website or the newspaper.
They came in significantly lower and we did not ask about them.
And so I'm just reviewing what everybody submitted. They had no government experience listed. They had some not-for-profit but I didn't see any government.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming they know that, but there's special education you have to do to do government audits. That's kind of a big thing.
How long they've been a firm?
It wasn't very long.
So they're just trying to branch out and shake up some of their business. They're having a sale.
Alexa?
Chicago is what the letter says. I mean, they might have had an office in Wisconsin too, but Chicago is what the address was listed on here.
We've had zero concerns with Hood.
No, I mean, this year it was delayed quite a bit, but I mean, that was due to illnesses. There's nothing anybody can do about that. People get sick, I mean, unfortunately.
But it wasn't so late that we were in any kind of trouble.
No.
Missing any due dates.
No. Trying to find this. 2018, it looks like. 2018, okay, I haven't.
So
I knew it wasn't.
They've been in business about as long as Hood's been doing our audits. Then.
Correct.
Well, I would make a motion that we continue our association with Hood.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Geotechnical services bid recommendation.
So Navigate took all that information, they looked through it, and scored all three companies that did it. Terracon does a whole lot of work here in Sedalia already. They're from Columbia, so they're geographically closer than the rest of them. I think one was from St. Louis, the other one was from Kansas City. They scored the highest, and according to Theron and Navigate, they felt like Terracon was the way to go, and I agree. So, and their pricing was a little bit better, I think, than what the rest of them were as well.
So the only question I have on that, I mean, I trust them. Obviously, they're in the industry and they know better. I was just wondering, on number 2 for promptness, firm's ability to respond in a timely manner, anticipated time between scheduling and project deliverables. There's only 15 or 20.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because they're not going to really reach out to them too hardcore until they start getting ready to put a foundation down. So, I mean, I think it's far enough out that it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
And they felt pretty confident about it, and so did Theron. And I mean, and I'm gonna trust what they say. I know Theron works with them a lot, and Navigate was pretty familiar with them as well.
I think they said Terracon did 92 and 97 projects in Pettit County. And I think one had 0 and one was 10 or 15. So that was another big thing. I think they did the college, they did Redford's, which are right close by. So that was another good indicator of them to choose that. Why don't we accept Terracon?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. New business, the GEMT.
All right, that starts on. So this is our ground emergency medical transport cost report for Medicaid is what this is. And this is a different fiscal year than our year. So it's 6/7/1/2023 through 6/30/2024. So when we try to compare these numbers to the numbers you see in the back, they're not going to compare because they're different time periods. It is eerily close to 2023. The numbers are, but in the end, but all the numbers in between are different. So total expense is the total expense for that time period. EMR is emergency medical response and non-EMR is non-emergency medical response. So in that non-EMR is court payroll, the TIF amounts, the election expenses, EMT class, supplies is what is the non-EMR on these expenses. Really, the rest of it is EMR, except for the adjustments that we have to make. So the adjustments are on schedule 7, which is on page 14. So special event revenue, so that's like, mostly it's rodeos and things like that, where there's ambulances that are paid to be there. That has to be netted against expense. For our Medicaid, it goes through another organization that's MOMSAC. And the pooled funds and admin fees that come out of that are not allowed to be used for the GEMT, so those have to be netted against expenses. Our grant revenue had to be netted against our expenses as well. And then this one was new this year. We had to net our non-emergency medical transports against our expenses. So we do a lot of transports that are non-emergency, but these are the ones to a lower level of care. So like they're being discharged from the hospital home or to a nursing home, that kind of thing. Page 15 is the revenues. The revenues that count for the GEMT are our Medicaid revenues, and that is on line 1 on that page. Those come from Medicaid, so they don't match what we have in our records either, because it's based on what they paid during this period, not what we received, not what we billed. So it's all a little different than normal accounting. But page 17 is the important one. And that is where the total cost of our ambulance service is 7.6 million for the year. And then you divide that by the number of transports and get the $1,106.72 per transport cost. Then at the bottom, that's multiplied times the number of Medicaid transports that were fee for service, 780. And the difference there is our net cost of transports, the $352,681.39. So that is how much we were under reimbursed for Medicaid for that time period. That was our cost was $863,000, and we were reimbursed $510,000. So that's what this cost report does, is kind of makes up the difference for us. So you'll remember from years past, we pay the $119,918.30, and then we'll receive $352,000 back. So it will net $232,763. They did mention that the timing of that is changing as well. We used to pay it in like May and get it back in June or July. It sounded like that was going to be pushed back maybe a little bit. So they couldn't give us specific timing, but the timing is changing. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So it's a lot of information, but really the important part that boils down to is this page 17, the settlement. Any questions? Okay, so this is due.
I do have. Who will be doing this
Get down
super
in
math
front.
next time?
Get down in front.
Okay. Do we have confidence in their ability to do that? You wouldn't be available for a phone call or anything if we need second opinion.
Pretty sure it's gonna be somebody that has knowledge.
All right. Because I can't.
So this is due November 30th, so I'll get this all uploaded tomorrow and into our day.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the GEMT? Now we'll move on to the health insurance. Page 50.
Okay, so Mike Keith, page 50 is the marketing results of when they put out for bid for our health insurance. So the top line, that Blue Cross Blue Shield of KC, that's our current premium, $698,929.32. The renewal is $768,000, which is an increase of approximately 10%. Aetna was a 3.45% increase, and United Healthcare is a reduction of about 9%.
And we had United Healthcare in the past,
We had United Healthcare the year before this year.
and everyone got along with them, all right?
I mean, I didn't hear any specific complaints myself. Page 51 is the dental, vision, life, short-term disability, long-term disability. Those are exactly the same. Those prices were locked in last year for 2 years, so there's no change in any of those. The next pages detail the difference in the plan designs for all of those options. So the IRS limits increased on the HSA this year, so the Blue Cross Blue Shield and the United Healthcare both have a little bit of an increased deductible. It went from $3,200 to $3,300 individual, and $6,400 to $6,600 on family. And that's also the out-of-pocket maximum on both plans. United Healthcare does have some other benefits over Blue Cross Blue Shield. The deductible, not deductible, what's that wrong, co-payments for office visits are $0, and for telehealth are $0. And Blue Cross Blue Shield is $40. United Healthcare is a little higher on office visits, specialists and urgent care. Blue Cross Blue Shield is $40 for both of those. Another place that United Healthcare is better was on the prescription drugs. It's $15, $40, $75, and $200. Blue Cross is $15, $70, $110, and $200. So that third tier is a little cheaper with United Healthcare. But overall, our recommendation is to go with United Healthcare because there's not very many years that we get to see a reduction in the cost of our benefits. And approximate changes.
Second. Is there any further discussion? If not,
Seems like the winner.
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Taking a motion to go into closed session pursuant to RSMO 610.021, section 3.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Roll call.
Kirby,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Nail.
Yep.
Steve,
Yeah.
Walker,
Yes.